Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're looking at the most recent chapter of Bleach. No One Piece, we'll have to wait, but Bleach didn't disappoint. Before getting into the review, I know people are always running down Bleach like it's the worst thing now, but realistically it's not so bad. When you compare it to the other three, it's not that bad. I still enjoy it. And this chapter sets up some craziness. Anyway, let's get into the review. The review is going to go like this. There's going to be a section that summarizes the chapter, and then a bit of deeper thoughts for myself that I'd like to get out there. So, let's get into the review, our summary. So, you could break this chapter down as a setup chapter. The first part of the chapter was funny. It was quite hilarious to me because of the way it came across. To explain, Renji and Rukia are basically kind of shown up back on the back of the impacts that Gerard Valkyrie has had, having these fights turning into this beast. What happens is Hitsugai is basically like, you can't hang with this guy, don't even get involved, you'll be safe, do what you gotta do, get out of here. Now the natural reaction for a person who's never seen this guy, and that guy talking to him like you're familiar, and the Renji's was like, who the hell is he? Now that was funny anyway because it was playing on the idea that he looks different. Rukia's immediate reaction, say like, what, you don't know? Was like, she was so full of herself, like, yeah, I really know exactly who that is. Because can't you tell? It's Hitsuga's older brother. And that just killed it off because he was so sure and she got it so wrong. And to top it off, Byakuya's like, you're not gonna even try justifying or correcting that, are you? And I was like, oh my god, comedic timing. I could see that play out on an anime scene. It was just brilliant. So that was the funny part. And then we get on to the good stuff. Let's skip to the good stuff, right? Renji's like, what the hell's going on over there? And it's Ichigo flaring out his Ryatsu, flaring out his power, and Yuha Bak was like, ooh, your Ryatsu's so powerful now. He goes, how are you going to strike? From the left, from the right? And he goes, you're going to use your abilities, aren't you? He goes, no, I'm not going to use my abilities, it's fine. And that was the intro. Now, here's where Yuha Bak was funny for me. So he starts off, and he goes on these Aizen vibes, like, my son, you have come, and, I did this all for you. And had this been pre-timescape, pre-training Ichigo, he would have fallen for that. He would be like, oh, and you know how Ichigo in the past was very, you could say shaky, and the shakier he got, he lost his resolve to fight and the Ryatsu would diminish. That was pre-timescape Ichigo, pre-zero training Ichigo. Not the case anymore. So basically, Ichigo give him a bigger fuck you. You kill mom and fuck you up. And I'm like, come on Ichigo. And then Yuha Bak killed it. And in a sense, he basically says, well, aren't you a prissy little schoolgirl? And I'm like, oh my god, you've gone from I'm Mr. Charismatic, come to my way to yeah, schoolgirl. And I'm like, mocking's not going to get you anywhere. And then they start fighting. The Getsuga Tensho comes out, blocked with the energy. He's on full form. The attack comes back. Orihime's helping out. Orihime? I keep saying Orihime. It's definitely Orihime, isn't it? So the lady that helps out. Yeah, she helps out. I forgot her name. I'm sure it's Orihime. But anyway, she helps out. She does her triangle defense thing. And then Yuha Bak's like, okay, let's get it over and done with. That's the review of the chapter. Cut and short, dry. If you want to just hear the review, this is where you stop. This is now my thoughts and theories. Okay. So looking at the story so far, bearing in mind people shit on the story quite a bit. Here's a few things to bear in mind. Yuha Bak was meant to be the son of the Soul King. He was defeated by Captain Yamamoto and he was left to go do what he wants 1,000 years ago. He's the precursor and the archetype or the ancestor of all the Quincy's, the father, so to speak, which is why he's called the father in the kind of chapter. That's basically what it's about. And he refers to Ichigo as the son. And he did it all for him, killing his mother, the power. They were there just so the power could be taken for Ichigo. So what does that really mean? In my mind, this is what it means. If you look back at the different breakdowns of characters, and we've been explore this in quite length in all these different chapters we've got, right? The human and the Quincy go hand in hand, right? So that's two parts to the puzzle. Then you've got Shinigami and you have Hollow. Now the Shinigami and the Quincy have one thing in common: to destroy or set free the Hollow. Set them on the path or destroy, depending on if you're Quincy or Shinigami. But we've had a cross between Shinigami and Hollow, but we can't have a cross between Hollow and Quincy. Why? Because they're poisonous to Quincy. So what would be the perfect antidote, counter, so that you could be a Hollow and a Quincy, is to be a Shinigami. And how you get Quincy? You have to be human, mostly. It's not really be confirmed if you don't necessarily have to be human, but generally speaking. So who is the perfect blend of all these four components? Ichigo, right? So what's not to say that the Soul King was the original creator of the power and the first person to have all of those, which is why he looked how he looked. And what's not to say that originally Yhwach was so upset with the king, Soul King, because he only had one element of that power, and he wanted to rule over all, so he wanted to take all the Soul King power, so he had all those other parts. Again, this is a theory and speculation, just what I'm talking about, bear with it. What if the best way for him to create someone to have this power would be to orchestrate something from 1,000 years ago, so that by the end of it there was another Soul King that has it all, so when you can manipulate someone whose power you could take. It would make sense if that was Ichigo, because he has those components now. And you can say, don't you think it's convenient that Ishin was the one to find his mother, for her to get attacked by a Hollow, for that to be with Aizen, for Aizen to know about the Soul King, even though a lot of people don't know about the Soul King. They've heard of the Soul King, it's like lore, it's kind of myth, but no one has specifically seen him other than the Zero Division, right? What if it was Yhwach that showed a young Aizen, the Beast, set him on his way, the Beast meaning the Soul King, in a way, or give him clues to finding about him, so that he could set the motion to start putting things together, which is bridging Shinigami and Hollow and all these other things, so that eventually we could find someone that put it all together. Now you're probably thinking, how is he going to take power, how's that all going to work? Here, let's hear the flip side to that. If you look at all the Quincy so far, they've all drank from the cup, they're linked to Yhwach, right? Who hasn't drank from the cup? Ichigo. So if Yhwach dies, everyone else dies as well. But Ichigo, where does all the power goes to? Ichigo. You kind of see where I'm going here. He's absorbed Soul King power as it is. Could it be that deep within inside Ichigo, the whole idea behind his latent ability is the ability to become the Soul King? Maybe kind of like Naruto, kind of like the Sage of Six Paths. It was all about combining energies, like you have with the Uchiha and the Senju, to get the Rinnegan. That power needs to be combined and harnessed within a host, being Ichigo, for that to be the power. But bearing in mind, we don't even know if Ichigo is going to become the Soul King. We don't know that by the end of the story. It's just a theory. Now, that's one thing. Here's a second thing to think about as well, because I like to throw theories out there. I'm going to make this a long one because this is the only video I'm doing today. What if the concept of Yhwach being able to see the future is kind of like how certain chain of events have to happen for things to move forward. The butterfly effect, the idea of one small change, a ripple, has a disastrous effect. The idea of multiple possibilities. So ultimately for Yhwach, there's multiple possibilities, but one thing is inevitable: death. There is always that one chance of death. For some reason in my mind, the fact that he saw his dream where he was getting killed by Ichigo, although it could have been a nightmare, is showing that in his mind he has seen a possibility where he is killed. And could it be a case that the longer this fight carries on, the further he's trying to get? If you think about it, this is death, and this is the possibility, right? The more they fight, the closer Yhwach gets to death. You go through all possibilities, all ways to escape death. But like the saying says, I've said this again previously in other videos, there's one inevitability for most of mankind: death. Could this be the foreshadow? The fact that Ichigo having that ability, having to dig deep, having to push back, unlocks something deep within him. He's part of his destiny to have that Soul King altogether power. And that means the death of Yhwach, which probably also means the death of Ishida. But if someone like Ichigo has the power of all, and he takes Yhwach's power, what's not to say he is now the Yhwach of the Quincy? He is now the Soul King of the Shinigami. He is the El Presidento of the humans. He is the king of the Hollows. What do you think, guys? Anyway, theory out the way, speculation out the way. That's my thoughts. That's my video. If you enjoyed the video, if you've watched on being a fan of Bleach, give me a thumbs up. If you're going to stick by it through thick and thin, regardless of how the story unfolds, let's just get to the end. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed my video, if you enjoyed my review, let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm on 50. I'd really like to get up there. And I don't want to be going around shitting on other people just to do that. So please support my content, push my content out there, share it if you like, let your friends know. Let's build a community, and I'll see you next time. Peace.